Yay! Hello, hello, hello. I'm on Facebook Live. It's Thursday at 7 p.m. This didn't work last week to orient it with my phone, so I'm so happy that it actually worked. Yay! My name's Melissa Kerman with Melissa's Crafting Treehouse, and I'm here in the U.S. I've been a demonstrator for over 17 years, and I absolutely love what I do and love sharing it with all of you. So, glad to be here today. I have lots on the agenda to share with you. So I have some cards people have sent me I want to show, and projects, of course, some project demonstrations, and announcements, of course. So I'm excited, and I also, there's a box in behind me that might actually have to get revealed. Here we go, it's right there. That box just came today. What do you think could be inside? Can't wait to share it. Anyway, I see people are joining in. Welcome, Debbie. Good to see you. So where should we start? Well, on a personal note, I will just say this has been a little bit of a tough week. Hi, Pam. Glad to see you there. And it's because I've had this kink in my back. I mentioned this to somebody, and I do a lot of sitting, I do a lot of computer work, and a lot of stamping and, upper body fine motor stuff, and I think it was just kind of getting to me, so it really acted up this week, and there were a couple days where it was just really hard to do anything. Just hurt to just even do things with my fingers, so I kind of toughed it out. My husband was really supportive and helpful, and thank goodness I'm feeling better today. Just need to maintain and do a lot of stretching more than I have been. So anyway, that's my little personal note. Just happy to be here and able to actually be live, because earlier this week I was wondering whether it was going to happen. So anyway, I see people joining in. Yay. So I'd like to start with showing you a couple of cards that have recently been sent to me, just because it's fun. I want to show off those of you who are so sweet and send me cards. This one is from my friend Cecilia. She's been a longtime club member, and I just love that black and yellow. And anyway, how the layout of that card, I could totally see casing that card. I don't think I've shared it yet. And this is from my sweet friend Tina, who is also a stamper, obviously, and is local, lives near me, as Cecilia does. And this card is from Megan Bogle. Yay, thank you, Megan. Oh, and there she is. She's joined us just in time to see your card. Anyway, she sent me this lovely card, so wonderful. And this card is from my friend Shirley, customer as well. Anyway, we've been having phone conversations by email and just loving that she sent me a card. And then last but not least, a card that came today, and I actually recognize this stamp set from way back. This is from Paulette, and just so sweet. She actually even did her little John Hancock on the back. And she did decorated the envelope too, and I'm going to cover addresses, but decorated the front as well. So sweet. I just love it. Happy mail. I so enjoy it. So thank you for sharing your creative talents with me, those of you out there that feel so inclined to send me cards. Yay. Okay, what else? So announcements for today. Hi, Robin. Let's see. Okay, so announcements for today. You guys may know, if you earned bonus days coupons back in July and through August 3rd, you can start redeeming them now. So there were $5 coupons for every $50 you spent. You can, if you have multiple coupons, you can redeem them all at the same time. If you are going to redeem them on one order, you will have to enter those codes one at a time, and you put it in and then press apply, put it in and press apply. Anyway, with the new online store, there's kind of a new way of doing it. So definitely make sure to take advantage of those before the end of August. And we love free stuff. Just keep in mind, if you do, that if you're at $150 and you enter your 3 coupons or whatever, it will bring your total below $150. You'll no longer be eligible for Hostess rewards or whatever the threshold is. So just keep that in mind. You have to spend the actual money to get the benefit, whether it's Hostess rewards or whether it's, in my case, my Loyalty Leaves program, or getting cards, kits in the mail, that kind of thing. So just keep that in mind when you use your coupons. Okay, there's a sales tax holiday that's going on in select states. That was in my newsletter. And most of them are doing it August 7th to 9th, which of course starts tomorrow, so something to pay attention to. If you haven't looked at my newsletter, it's a good time to do it and click on that link to check out what you're eligible to get tax-free. So it's markers and other kinds of things that would qualify as school supply type stuff. And the states participating that hasn't passed, Florida, Massachusetts, Missouri, New Mexico, I'm reading a list, Ohio, South Carolina, Texas, and Virginia. And one of those states goes a long time. I think they, either that or were doing it at the end of the month. Anyway, just definitely check out that link in my newsletter for the details. All right, good news for those of you who ordered product shares. I have ordered everything and they are on the way. So super excited about that. Going to get a boatload of fun products to sort through and wrap and whatnot, divide up for all of you. So just happy to have gotten that order in. Let's see, and for you guys, I will let you know when I'm ready to mail out. So, or if you're picking up, you can pick up, of course. Let's see, what do you guys think of the new online store? I think it's pretty cool. I was afraid that there were going to be problems getting on the website or ordering and everything, but it's really been smooth. And I'm loving the big images that we can see when shopping. So I think it's well organized. Love to hear your thoughts on it. There is also a feedback tab on the right-hand side set up that's new and improved, I guess, so you can give feedback on the site or on anything that comes to mind. So definitely use that. Stampin' Up! Is really good about taking feedback and working on improvements. A very creative company, as I'm sure you could figure out. So let's see. I see Dean. Hello, Dean. Hi, Carol. I'm sure I've missed names, but just spying you guys as you join in. Yay. Okay, let's see. What else? Okay, so also in my newsletter, I've mentioned that my new technique class is now available to pre-order. It's my August technique class. The theme for August is going to be the Joseph's coat technique. You may have already seen it or have heard of it. Not all the techniques I do are original. In fact, most of them are not going to be original. Occasionally I throw one in that I've sort of come up with myself. But when you take one of my technique classes, it's kind of my own spin on that technique. Usually I've done it before, so I'll often think of new nuances or ways of doing it. So that will be the case as well with the Joseph's coat technique. And there are sneak peeks on my website for that. Now, this is also a unique time of the year because we're kind of midway through the year. So if you're familiar with my technique class program, I do classes once every other month. I don't do it every month because it's too much work. So we've gotten through the first 3 classes of the year, so February, April, and June. And now we're entering into the second half of the year, which is the August, October, December classes. So at this juncture, I do this twice a year, once in February, once in August, I give people the opportunity to pre-purchase the classes that are coming up for the months that are coming up. And what that does is 2 things. One, for me, it allows me to plan and organize and know that I have enough people committed to the class so that it makes sense for me to spend the time and effort. And the other benefit that I offer is that to you guys is you get a reduced price no matter what you sign up for. So there's multiple ways to sign up, and I've designed it so that if you want to buy product and get the class for free, or want to buy product and pay less of a fee, I have some choices for that. Some of you that might not apply to. You might not be interested in getting product. Maybe you're a demonstrator yourself, or you have plenty of stuff, who knows. So that's one option, is to get product. The other is just a fee-based approach. So the subscription programs that I offer is the fee-based approach, paying a fee either for just the electronic materials or for the electronic materials and a project kit that you get in the mail. So that's a subscription opportunity, and the prices are better when you buy it as a subscription upfront for 3 classes than if you buy it ad hoc. You will still have the option to buy it ad hoc, one at a time as you go. It'll just cost you a little bit more money. Now, the other option is to join a club or do a product-based class is what I call it. And when you join a club, not only do you get the classes for free, you get product, which of course you purchase, which is part of the conditions. And then at the end of the club cycle, you get more free product. Well, I should say more, you get free product. Free classes and free product, and then you purchase from me on a consistent basis to get those classes. So those are my clubs. And again, I only offer the club option and the subscription option 2 times of the year. One is February and one is in August. So now is the window, and you have until August 15th to sign up for that. So those are kind of my basics. Now there's so many different options because I'm trying to cater to different people's needs and interests. I am toying with doing a Q&A about my technique classes and clubs and subscriptions so that it helps sort things through and helps make sense for people. But if you find that you're confused, just let me know. If you've signed up for the technique classes before and you're wondering whether you should do the same thing or something different, what works best for you, just let me know. I'm happy to have a phone conversation with people, as strange as that might sound. In this day and age, I am happy to do that. I love talking to people on the phone. So now the other thing that I'm doing that's different for this half of the year, for the August, October, and December classes, I'm actually announcing ahead of time what those classes are going to be. So August, of course, is Joseph's Coat. And I've decided, even though I haven't designed yet, that October is going to be, let's see, I've decided it's called Glazed Mosaic, and that is an original technique. I have shared it in a class several years ago, in-person class, have not shared anything about it online. So I'm excited to share that technique. So that's Glazed Mosaic is what it's called. And then in December, I'm going to do cracked glass, which some of you may have done before or heard of, which is super fun, awesome, interesting looking technique. So in the past, those of you who signed up for subscriptions or clubs, you have no idea what I'm doing on any given month. But this time I'm committing to doing those 2, barring some challenge that I can't design with those techniques. Those will be the techniques for the rest of the year. So kind of nice to have that information up front. So let's see what else. I guess that's pretty much it about the technique classes and clubs. Let me know if you have questions. So if you joined in after like the first minute or so, you might not have caught me saying that there's a box in behind me. Came today, and I thought for the rare occasion I would actually do an unboxing. Now can anybody take a guess what it might be? I did expedited shipping, ordered a few days ago. I'm going to give people a second to decide. I'm going to grab the box. I'm going to put it on my workspace. You can see it's kind of heavy. And then how am I going to do this? I might actually have to do it on my lap. I think I'm going to do it on my lap because it's so big that it might not show up if I face the camera down. So anybody want to take a guess what it is? I'm looking at comments. Hi, Wendy. So glad you're here. England, right? Or United Kingdom? Do I have that right? I think I'm remembering that right. Glad you made it. Even with the time change. Okay, so if you just jumped in, I am, oh yes, Pam, you're so right. The new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Now, I did hear someone talking about this the other day. Now, embossing machines, there's lots of them that exist out there, right? And we had one that was something that Stampin' Up! Contracted with another company. That was the big shot, right? And now Stampin' Up! Decided they wanted to have their own machine that they had control over what the design was. So this machine might look similar to other die cutting machines that you've seen, but it is not the same. Stampin' Up! Has designed their own with the help, I'm sure, of other experts, and paid for that design, and it's exclusively Stampin' Up's. So it might look a little different, but it's definitely our own product. Okay, so here we go. So here's the first thing, and this is my the cutting pad, I guess, and the base plate. I'm just going to open it up so you guys can see. You're going to see it with me. Yay! So much fun. Okay. Okay, so there's what they give you is in the front, and it says Stampin' Cut Emboss Machine Quick Start Guide. Don't we love that? And then, of course, lots of details that are written very small in multiple languages. On the inside. And then there's some pictures. We always like pictures, right? That helps understand how to use our stuff. And then this is not a cutting surface, it says. So what is it then? I guess we'll find out. Now, one of the things that they've pointed out to us, I watched it in a video, is that each of the pads are numbered. So this one has a number 1 on it, and then it's showing you how to order the numbered plates based upon what you're doing, right? So the first one says place die cutting edge down. Oh, that's a new detail. Insert embossing folders hinge first. You guys have probably heard me say that. So some good instructions right there on the front. That's pretty cool. So that's number 1. And this is number 2. Now that, I'm not sure what it is. I'm going to learn. I have to learn and share with you guys. Now this says do not use with embossing folders. This is, I guess, a thickener, you know, something to add some thickness. So when you're die cutting, you're cutting at the right amount. And then we've got 2 plates. These are numbered 3, which obviously are your cutting plates. And then I'm not sure what this number 4 is, but we'll find out, and I will let you know. Maybe it's for embossing. Okay, for dry embossing, that is. Alrighty, so next, lots of packaging. Gotta make sure it's well protected. Ooh, ah. So exciting. Okay. One of the things that I think I'm gonna really like about this is that the sides fold up. So this is what it's looking like. And then the handle is separate, so obviously I have to attach the handle. And you know I'm going to be playing with this and showing you guys all the ins and outs, but let's just start with that. And then looks like I got to attach my handle on the end. And this side comes down. And the other side comes down. Yay! And it's, as you can see, I'm holding it up like this, so it can't be that heavy. At least either that or I'm super strong. Anyway, yay! Okay, I'm gonna put it down on my work surface, then I'll face the camera down so you guys can get a little bit of a better look at it. And then we'll move on to the project demonstration for today, which if you did not see it earlier, the focus today is the Simple Sweet Stampers tutorial bundle. So it's sneak peeks of those projects made with the Whale of a Time product suite. So super cute projects tonight. You guys are going to love them. I love them. All right, so let's face the camera down and we'll show you what I got. Let's see. Turn me around. Okay, there we go. So there's this beautiful machine. So fun. We've been waiting for this for a long time. It's finally here. And you may have heard rumor that there's going to be a mini version of this. Hasn't come available yet. Now this is only available as a pre-order for demonstrators right now. But you can get, September 1, this will be available to customers. So this is really nice handle, just noticing. So fun. So it folds up. Kind of noisy. Try not to make so much noise that time around. It's got the Stampin' Up! Logo on the side. Yay. Well, I'm excited to play. So much fun. Okay, see you later, guys. I'll be back next week. Just kidding. Haha. I'm not going anywhere yet. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing my reveal, sharing my excitement with me. So much fun. Okay. So is this the small one or the large? This is the large one, and they haven't actually told us when the small one is going to get released. The small one, of course, won't fit a bunch of the bigger dies and embossing folders, but there are embossing folders that are actually small, which will fit in it, and so, of course, your smaller dies fit in it without a problem. So more on that later. Now, one thing I do know is that this bigger version of the Big Shot is not available as a 50% off item. You will be able to get the smaller one in that way, but not the bigger one, which was kind of a disappointment for me to find out. But, you know, I guess they have to draw the line somewhere. It's an expensive item. Alrighty, so you guys ready for the Whale of a Time projects? I want to share with you just a little bit about the Simple Sweet Stampers tutorial bundle. I do this once a month in general. I didn't do it in July because in July we took a month off. Which actually was really kind of nice. I was initially disappointed, but it was actually really nice. So Anyway, we used to be 8 designers, 8 tutorials, and you get it free with a minimum $35 purchase from me in my online store, merchandise purchase, as a newsletter subscriber. So I give that out, and I also give it to my team for free. Now we have added some designers to the team, so we now have 12, actually we have 11 designers, but there will be 12 tutorials. We're still, I think, looking for a 12th designer, and the person who organizes the group is doing that. So anyway, stay tuned for more, but these projects are really fun. You're going to enjoy them. So again, we're using the Whale of a Time suite. This is the Whale Done stamp set and the punch. This was not something I actually got in my first order. I knew I was drawn to it because it's cute, the kind of cute that I go for. But now that I've played with it a bunch, I really, really like it a lot. So this first project was designed by one of our new designers. Her name is Jo Blackman, and I actually haven't completed the project. I just adapted it based upon what I had. So I used slightly different designer paper pieces from her because I'd used all the rest of my pieces. And so I altered the colors a little bit. So for one of my pieces, I'm using the upper left-hand corner of this piece. Kind of ashamed to cut it apart, but it's, but still, I think this is going to look really pretty like that. And then I'm using a bottom strip, this one right here, for the bottom of my card. So just so you get the sense of how I'm using those 2 larger 6x6 pieces of designer paper. All right, so let's go ahead and get started putting this together. And I'll show you her original design in a printout so you can kind of compare. I've done some of the work ahead of time, some of the punching, just to make it a little bit quicker because I am trying to get through 3 projects. But they are pretty simple projects, and I find just from a user standpoint with the tutorial bundles that it's really pretty easy to remake anything that's in the bundle with the items that you have on hand. So I've been enjoying that part of it and then passing it along to you guys. And I know some of my team members really enjoy getting it every month, so they have an easy set of projects to make. Again, whether they have the same products as me or not, or as the designers or not, I should say. All right, so this strip is just going down on the bottom. And I actually just love that piece of designer paper. I think it's so pretty. Alrighty. And then I'm actually going to take my pretty peacock ink and I'm going to stamp my fish images all around the sides. And this section is going to get covered up towards the bottom, so I'm not going to worry about going too low. And just gauge how much. So I'm going to be covering about here. So don't have to do too far in from the edge. I love these little fishies. I think they're adorable. Now, one thing, I've barely used the other images in this set, and I love the turtle. I think that he's so cute, or she, and the little seahorse and that jellyfish. I just love them. I'm gonna have to create some more with this. Okay, just in case, we'll do one for good measure up there. All right, so there's where we are at this point. And then I'm gonna go ahead and attach this piece, but I'm going to kind of gauge my spacing because I'm going to have another piece. I won't attach it yet. I'm going to do my other piece first. Okay, so I've got a piece of Just Jade and a strip of Whisper White cardstock. And I'm going to use Just Jade ink with my little coral image. Now, Jo used Granny Apple Green, which also looked great. But again, I was using a different designer paper, so kind of had a different feel. Decided to go a different direction with the colors. Okay, doing some layering up there, stamping first and second inking to get some dimension and depth. And then I'm going to use my thanks a ton. I do love this little sentiment, not only because I love how, you know, saying thanks a ton because it implies lots of thanks, but I also like the writing, the font, all that. So, and of course it works so well with this idea of the whale. Okay, so now this is going to be at a slight angle. So I'm going to actually stamp my thanks a ton at a slight angle. Hopefully I've got the right angle. And then this is going to get attached to my Just Jade piece. Does anybody else out there have this suite or this bundle, the Whale of a Time bundle? I'm just curious. Has anybody else been playing with it, enjoying it, seeing samples they like? Again, love to know what you guys are doing out there with your creative efforts. Okay, so that's going to kind of go like that. Now, I got some whale pieces, and on my whale, I'm going to use these little water bubbles, or air bubbles. What am I saying? Water bubbles. That doesn't make any sense. Air bubbles on the whale itself. I don't know, maybe it could be water, because it's going to be on the whale. So, and I'm going to stamp with my pretty peacock. And yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the water on the top of him. I've done it on the top of him in others, and I like the look. So there's that. And then I'm going to use a variety of adhesives. For these little pieces, I either like to use my glue dots or my multi-purpose liquid glue. And for this small element that's going to go on the bottom of my whale, I am going to put the glue just a little bit on the bottom of the bigger piece. It's just easier to manage holding on to a small piece like this one that doesn't have adhesive on it. And then I can kind of slide it around and get it into place where I want it to be as well. That's the other benefit of the multi-purpose liquid glue, is it doesn't stick immediately, and you can fiddle around with the placement a little. And then for this little piece, the fin, I like to use a glue dot. Just makes it really easy to place it. And where's my top? Think of that part as the top. And it's just the right size to fit on there. You can see right there. And I'll just put it on so that it's overlapping but not covering up the other fin in behind. So there's my cute little whale. Now I'm going to use my Just Jade for the whale's eye. Didn't punch that ahead of time because I didn't think I was going to be able to keep track of that. Hard to keep track of it even once it's been punched and right in front of me, right? So there it is. And for this, I'm going to take, again, a little bit of my multi-purpose liquid glue and just put a tiny little droplet where I want the eye to be, being extremely sparing so that it doesn't ooze out and make a mess. Got my take your pick tool to place it down, and then I'm going to take the paper piercing end and just press it down on there. Now it oozed out even still. I'm just going to use my finger to dab up the excess, just a tiny little bit. And there we go. There's my cute little whale. Isn't he cute? I think he's cute. I'm going to put a few dimensionals on the back side. I just got to find where I put my dimensionals. They're somewhere in here. Let's see. All right. Okay. And then if I have my mini dimensionals handy, I like to put a mini dimensional on the tail. And this is actually a mini dimensional cut in half. But it can probably handle the full-size one as well. So there's the back side of my whale. Yay, somebody gave me a heart. Thank you, somebody. Just happened to be looking at my phone at just the right time. All right. So now this is just my scrap piece of designer paper that I'm keeping my little pieces and parts on because I've got to put these onto my card. Now, I'm all done with my ink, so I'm going to set that aside. Don't drop anything in it by accident. Okay. And now we can begin with our final assembly of this. So I'm going to go ahead and attach my top piece. So there's the same amount of space in the top and the sides. And then that's going to straddle the bottom so that the Thanks-a-ton is straight across. Now I'm just going to go ahead and attach this, and then I'm going to bring in my cutter. And I actually have this old guillotine cutter that Stampin' Up! Sold many years ago. And I just love it. It's my absolute favorite cutter because it's very precise, and it's also, it can handle multiple layers really easily. So here's my guillotine cutter. And you guys remember this from years back. And I cut my card base so that it was oriented this way. So it would be really easy for me to just put it into my cutter, and I'm using my finger to gauge that it's right on that edge so I can just trim off the portion that's overhanging. And I need to do just a little bit more. This cutter is so good. When I bought it, they said that it was guaranteed for, the blade was guaranteed for 5 years, but I've had it for far more than that, I think. So there, it's perfectly along the edge. And just for my final touches, I'm going to add my whale and the little water droplets above him or her. I like to be, you know, give equal time to the male and female animals. Okay, where do I want to put him or her? I think maybe right there. And the water's coming up from the top of his little body, so I have to make sure that there's a place to put him. So there's something I need to do. Now, the one thing I didn't have to add to the mix on this one is sequins. So I, you know, got the sequins, of course, for the product shares, but then I sold an even amount, so there weren't any left for me. So it's one thing I did not get was the sequins all for myself. So that's okay, though. I think it'll look really pretty just the way it is. All right, so this is, I'm just copying what Joe did, just getting the placement of the water where I want it. And I think those are going to need to be popped up on something. And I think my little half-cut mini dimensionals will be the perfect thing for it. And when I'm working with something this small, now I've cut them down the middle here because that's how I'm using these. So for this one, I'm going to use my paper piercing tool on my Take Your Pick tool to lift it up. Just because it's so small, it's kind of unruly. And then placing it down onto my small piece, pressing it on there, right? And then I can take off my backing. And if I want, I can even use my putty end to do the placement so that I got it exactly where I want it. So there's my first water element. And then I'm going to do the same thing with each of these others. I guess I can't lift it up yet. Got to use my other end. There we go. This one's a little harder to pick up. I need two Take Your Pick tools, I think. One in each hand. one for the putty end and one for the piercing tool end. Okay. This is fine motor skills, right? Tiny, itty bitty. Okay, now I can hold on to it with my paper piercing tool. It's stuck on there. And get that positioned right there. Okay, now I gotta do 2 more times. Here we go. I'm gonna turn those over. Use my putty. So I've got them on the back side. I want the rounded, the pointed end of the dimensional to be on the rounded side of the water piece. You know what I mean, right? I think you do. Okay, and then I gotta get that backing off. Okay, now some people do this thing where they stick it in the paper and they pull it off. Oh, that worked pretty well, actually. I don't throw it around the room. There we go. Okay, now this one went up in here somewhere. And then this one. We're almost there. Yay. Yay. That's it. There we go. There's my cute Joe Blackman card. Thank you, Joe. So fun. Lots of detail, but I think it's really pretty. I hope you do too. So her card, this is a picture, printout of her card. I'm not supposed to show you the dimensions because then I'm giving away too much. But not supposed to by the rules of the group. You can see the Granny Apple Green cardstock in behind this piece and this piece. And of course I used the Just Jade, so it's only slightly different. And of course I didn't have the same designer paper she used at the bottom, so I used my scene at the bottom. So project number 1, done. Okay, moving on to project number 2. Now this one is also done by one of our new design team members, Gloria Plunkett. And Gloria and I were both presenters at an event, gosh, when was it? Seems like, I don't know, maybe it was last fall, I'm thinking. And she's very talented, so happy that she's part of the team. And Joe seems to be talented too, but I don't know her nearly as well. Can't speak to her, but I do like her design. So always fun to share something you like. Alrighty, so here is my pieces and parts for Gloria's design. So I do want to tell you, just as an aside, that I recently heard from somebody, a fellow demonstrator, somebody who's a social media guru, that Facebook doesn't like it, and you guys are just going to crack up when I tell you this, when you comment and like everybody's comments, which to me is just so crazy and disappointing because for the longest time after a Facebook Live, I would always comment on everything, and dang if I'm not like causing myself problems. So I want you guys to know, when you comment, I'm always out there reading the comments, but I'm not responding as much because I heard this stuff about Facebook. So anyway, Facebook's making me a little crazy lately. Anyway, moving right along. So for this one, I'm using the rectangle stitched framelits and these stitched shaped framelits. So I've got a circle cut out with this second largest circle, and then I'm using these other two, the second and the fourth, for some of the other elements on this. So while I'm talking about my complaining about Facebook, I have contemplated doing something that a lot of other demonstrators do, or maybe a handful, I'm not sure, doing a YouTube Live instead of Facebook Live. And I'm just wondering, and this is an important question, I'm hoping you guys will respond and answer. Would you follow me if I went live on YouTube instead? And I always post my Facebook videos on YouTube after the fact, but in this case I would be just sharing them on YouTube and going live. So obviously I have to learn how to do all that, but I suspect it's pretty straightforward. So now this one was cut out with this rectangle stitch die. So yes, and please, if you respond to the extent that you can or do, remember, just say, yes, I would follow you on YouTube Live. That would make me so happy. Just to know, and then I'll have to consider whether it makes sense doing that, because like last week, you guys know, I wasn't able to go live because it wouldn't let me go live. And I haven't had a lot of problems with Facebook lately, but that was really kind of an annoying one. So now here, this is vellum cardstock, and I've die cut it with this other fourth biggest rectangle stitch die. And I'm just going to go ahead and attach it right here. Now I just put the adhesive in the middle because that middle portion is going to be hidden by my circle that's going to go on the top. So this is really just centered right on there. And just to take any of the mystery out of it, I'm not, I'm just looking at Gloria's project. I pre-cut everything and planned out how I was going to do it, but I am just copying hers because it's a great little card. And I pretty much had everything that she has except for those darn sequins. Yeah, so there's, oh darn, just remembered something. Guess what? I have to take it off. And I'm going to use one of my tricks you guys have seen me do before, taking one of my little plasticized pieces, because I forgot I'm stamping on this piece. So now I really need this because if I put it down here, it's going to stick to the page. But now that I have my little plasticized piece, I'm good to go. So I'm pulling in I need Pool Party for this one. And I'm going to stamp some of my seaweed image at the bottom. And my seaweed image is right here. There are two little seaweed type images in this set. This simple image, and then there's one that's taller. You can see it right there. So I haven't played with that one yet, but this one is a good one. And I'm using this one on, oh, I just realized, okay. This is pretty peacock. And I was pulling out Pool Party. So pretty peacock, and I'm just gonna do several of these with full inking and second inking along the bottom. So there we go, pretty straightforward. And then I'm going to take my little bubbles image. Now this, I'm trying to remember what color I did it in. Yeah, I got to clean that one. So this is a perfect way to use the little stamp cleaning pad because I just need a quick little clean of a small little image so that I can move on to my next stamp. Now this one uses the Pool Party. And I'm just going to kind of fill in with my bubbles or water droplets or whatever you want to think of it as. Isn't that cute? I think it's cute. I love images like this with the little specks. They're so useful in so many ways because it can be pollen, it can be water, anything you want it to be. Okay, now for hers, instead of punching an image, she took a piece of the designer paper and actually fussy cut one of these little whales, and that's what I have done from this spot right here. I'm not going to make you watch me fussy cut. So there's my adorable little whale, multicolored and everything. I think he's so cute. Again, I'm calling him a he, I'm not sure why. And I'm going to pop her. I got to switch it around. Changing sex right in the middle. I know I'm being silly. Okay, anyway, I'm going to pop it up on dimensionals, being really generous, especially on this one, because this is just designer paper. It doesn't have the thickness of cardstock. It's cardstock, so it's much more likely to sort of get pressed down where it doesn't, where it's not supposed to. So I need another one for my little tail, And because I'm not sure where my little mini ones are, I'm going to just cut this one. But of course it's not small enough. Where are those mini dimensionals when you need them? Grown accustomed to having them. And I have to cut it even more. I'm sure I could find them around here. I'm just being impatient. Okay, so there's my cute little whale. All right, so now let's get my spacing here. I've stamped the sentiment from the set in Memento ink that my love for you is bigger than the ocean. Isn't that awesome? I love that. And then I'm going to be placing that down here and then putting my little whale right on the top. I think I'm going to place it like that and like that. So let's actually put this back on my card, go back to where I left off, and get the placement of these elements where I want them. So I think I'm just going to do that one flat. Oh look, they're stamped on both sides. I do that a lot because I don't like how I did it on one side, so I do it again on the other. Get it just the way I want it. Okay, there's the sentiment and my little whale. Now again, this one used sequins, didn't have the sequins, but I think it's going to be okay without them. But they're nice to have. I thought about adding rhinestones, but I think I'm just going to let it be. And this one also has some little water at the top, and in this case I'm using Pool Party because that's the ink that we used for the bubbles or the water in behind, which I'm just noticing you can barely see anymore. Okay, now she did 3 of these, and I really like the way it looks, so I'm going to do that too. So this punch, you can see, makes kind of a mess. All the little pieces because it's a builder punch. But, you know, some things are just worth it. I don't know about you guys, but when it's cute, it counts for a lot. And I think I need a little bit more water because most of my water got hidden. So I'm going to just live dangerously and stick a little bit more in there, right next to my whale. Why not, right? Doesn't that look better? Show a little bit more? I think so. Welcome, Jan. I see you're watching live. So glad to have you here. Every once in a while I look up and I see a comment, so nice that you're here joining in and that you got to make the live. So fun. Okay, for this, I'm going to try to go easy on myself here, and I'm going to place my rolled up glue dots right onto my paper in the hopes that it's a little bit easier to get these tiny little things of water where they belong. Because to be honest, it's kind of cumbersome, just saying. Here we go. I like it. And then when you roll them up, it also gives it a little bit more height, which I like too. Okay, so this one's going to go over there. I have grown very dependent on this take your pick tool. How about you guys? Do you guys have a take your pick tool? And then this end also has, let's see, I got to show you guys. It's got the little spatula. And then there's also a stylus piece with 2 different sizes. Just gotta love it. Multi-purpose. Okay, almost there. Now, honestly, I think my card may be the simplest of these. So, we're in the home stretch. Yay! Look at my cute little water sprays. So cute. Now, I always use the take your pick tool to push the adhesive under. Showing a little bit, but there we go. Isn't that cute? The cutest thing ever. Thank you, Gloria. Makes me so happy to make cute things. Okay, 2 out of 3. We got 1 more to go. Alrighty. Let's clean up a little bit. So I have another question for you guys. I have recently had a request from somebody to do a craft room tour, you know, with the focus kind of on organization. I've done it before, but not sort of in, you know, not very completely, shall we say. So what I would do if I do that, and while I'm talking, just leave a comment and say, yes, I would love a craft room tour, or no, that's pretty boring, or something, whatever you want to say. Just let me know what you think. I would probably go through some of my essential drawers, show you how I keep everything, and just, you know, whatever, just the general, how do I organize my essential tools and things that I use all the time. So comment and let me know if you would like a craft room tour at some point. Alrighty, so I'm going to set up for the last and final project. Probably need to clean a few stamps since I'm using some of the same things. Now for mine, I'm using a couple of additional things. I've got my Wink of Stella, and I'm using some of the ribbon that goes with this suite. This is the sheer pool party, what is it called? I never remember the names of these. Yeah, it's just called sheer ribbon, the pool party ribbon. So it's got that sort of watery look to it. Let's see, I have lots of pieces in here. Am I using all these pieces? You can see I've prepared my punched pieces just to make it easy. And for this one, now this is the back side, same piece I used before, but I'm using the back side. I really love these adorable little seahorses, so it's going to go the full length. Now I did actually do a finished card for this because of course I needed to design one that I could take photographs of and share in the tutorial bundle. So I will show you that one at the end. So this one uses a different piece of designer paper. I may have shared with you before that one of my 3 July, August free card kit program cards, which is also one of my club cards, is made with this suite. So I used most of the pack of designer paper, and fortunately had just enough left to design a few more things for this presentation today. So there's my starting point. Cute, right? It's cute. Just stop right there. All right. Well, let's see what else. Now I've got this piece right here, and I'm going to take my sentiment piece, which I used Pretty Peacock, so I'm going to use that again. Stamp that in the upper left-hand corner. And that's all I'm doing with that. And then I'm using my little bubbles or water again. And using my fish again. Now you may also remember, if you purchase from me, or even if you don't, that I mentioned a while ago that anybody who orders in July, as while supplies last, will get one of my new in-color bookmarks. And this is related because my bookmarks are actually made with this suite as well. And I've shown them here before. You guys may remember. We'll show you in just a second as a reminder. Now, if you've gotten a bookmark from some other means from me because you did something else that I gave a bookmark for, that you will not get a second one. I'm just telling you that now. Just in case you're wondering. Okay, so I am going to use my Just Jade ink again with my seaweed image. And now this one, I've got to clean because I used it with the Pretty Peacock before. Don't you love this little handy stamp cleaning pad? For this, I just love it because it doesn't take up much room on the work surface, so it doesn't get in the way. So again, I'm just going to do these, and I like to kind of change the angle so it looks more natural. Now, just kind of get a nice little feeling of the ocean in there. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my Versamark and I'm going to do my bubbles images and my fish for sort of a background on this. And they're not showing up very well. Yeah, they're there. See my fish? Alrighty. It's supposed to be a subtle background for my whale, sort of envisioning a school of whale just following their big daddy whale. School of fish following the whale like it's a big brother or something. Okay, and my little specks, just get those here and abouts. Certain light you can see it really well, flat on the table not so much, but I'll bring it up to the camera in just a second so you guys can see. Alrighty, so there's my little background piece. And now I should have done one of these ahead of time, one of these little whales. Assembling two of them just seems like a lot, but I can handle it. I might just actually show you the finished product, and then I'll show you what I did, and then show you the second one in my blog post tomorrow, instead of doing all of this yet again. Can you tell the little pieces get a little wearing after a while? Anyway, so I've got all my pieces. You saw me put them together before. I'm going to show you how I'm putting this together, and then I'm going to do the whale off camera. So I'm using a little bit of this sheer ribbon, and I'm just going to cut off a piece just to be the size that I need it to be. And I'll grab a couple glue dots. Erica's out there. Hello, Erica. So good to see you. It's been a while. I hope you're well. Having a good summer. Okay, so for this piece, I am literally putting it at the very bottom of this piece of Just Jade. And what I'm, again, visualizing here is that it's like sort of the watery ocean surface, maybe not, I don't know. Create a visualization at the bottom of my strip. And then my strip's just going to go across the center, and I'm going to position it where I want it. Now, in the first one, my finished card, I'm going to show you that in a minute. That one is actually a scene. The designer paper is a scene, so it made sense to justify it kind of more towards the top. I'll show you in just a sec. Let's see what I want to do with this. I think I want to put it in the same position. Kind of justified towards the top. Okay, just like that. Now, imagine the whale right in there. There'll be a picture of this on my website. I'm not going to finish all these little pieces and parts right at the moment. I'll show you my finished other card, and then tell you what I did on that to finish up. So there is my finished card. You can see this piece of panel designer paper. It has a gap in the middle. It's really just the ocean, but it has these nice fun elements at the top, and then the whole little ocean floor scene down here on the bottom, which I thought was really fun. And then you may be able to tell on my water, which is popped up on Dimensionals, I've colored it with some Wink of Stella. That's actually the pretty peacock, as is the eye, but look how different the colors look, right? With the Wink of Stella versus without. So anyway, this is going to look cute too, I think, with the little seahorses in the back. And again, I'll take pictures and put it on my website. Now, last week I posted on Saturday instead of Friday for the blog. And the video went live on YouTube as well on Saturday. I may do that again, just because it seems to work out better schedule-wise and for some other reasons as well. So if you're looking for it on Friday, it might not be there. just saying. But it'll be there soon thereafter. All right, so I'm going to lay out my other projects. See all three of them together. And then we'll do a quick little recap and reminders. And I'll let you get on with your evening. You guys probably can tell I just love sharing. And each time I totally lose track of time. I try to move quickly, but you know what? I just love sharing all this stuff, and I hope you do too. I hope you like listening. Okay. I'm going to turn the camera around, say a quick goodbye and some reminders, and we'll plan to see you next week. And I can't wait to see the comments. I know I asked you guys some various questions about, you know, doing the organizational tour, and I can't remember. I asked you something else. I can't remember what it was. I'll look at the comments. This is why I say to you, when you leave a comment, leave a full sentence. Tell me the whole thing, because I'll go back later and go, what were they responding to? What did I ask? And then I feel really dumb. So help me not feel dumb. And when you respond, use a complete sentence. It really will help a lot. So, all right, so quick reminders. Don't forget to use your bonus days coupons. If you have trouble finding it, just go back and look at the day you ordered, and there should be an email in your inbox with the hostess code. And it's a long number. You have to type it exactly as is. So it's better if you can find the email and just copy and paste it into the coupon section in the store. So just word to the wise on that. Let me know if you have questions about my latest technique class. Make sure to check it out on my website. If you're interested in a club or a subscription, definitely the best deal option. And if you're confused by all the options, just like I said, give me a ring or a message or something and let me know you want to talk on the phone. I'm happy to do that too. And don't forget the sales tax holiday if it applies to you. And I will be back, same time, same channel next Thursday, August 13th, with something fun. Maybe it'll be an organizational tour. Maybe it'll be something else. We'll see. And I guess that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for joining in. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys, and I so love sharing and that you come back and visit and see what I got to share each week. So happy crafting, everybody. Love you. Bye.